And recording. What up, dog?
Not much. What up with you?
Nothing. Just got off work, got home.
How was work?
Fine. It's just, work stuff.
Right?
Work is work, and sometimes it's not great. The hell was that? What was that noise?
Adam just came home.
Oh, that loud motherfucker.
Well, I mean, we are starting it a little tad bit early today.
Yeah, sorry. Hi, Adam.
Somebody wanted to go to the movies today.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I invited my friends, too.
You did.
Boom, clatter. Tell them to be quiet for like 45 minutes.
How about you just talk and I'll just mute for a second?
Okay, that's fine.
What do you have today to talk about?
I mean, there's a few things. The biggest one one of the biggest ones I saw, we briefly talked about yesterday when we were hanging out, is the Robert Kirkman book of name of Oblivion Song is getting a movie adaptation produced and starring Jake Gyllenhaal, which is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool, at least, because that book is dope as shit. It's not, we were talking about this yesterday. The only problem with adapting certain comic books is the fact that they're still going, right? So you're not like, you don't have an, it's like Game of Thrones, for example, right? I guarantee you they started the process of Game of Thrones thinking that piece of shit would finish the other books way before they got close to the end, right?
Yeah.
Because before it even started, he was working on the seventh book or whatever, right? So they thought,
so.
We have 10 years of Game of Thrones content we have planned out, right? He's got to be done with that book by then, right?
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah, he's not. So they had to make up their own ending, And that's the thing with Oblivion Song. Like I said to you yesterday, you can totally get the story in a 2-hour movie, 2+ hour movie, whatever. The problem with it is you would only be doing the first story arc because you don't have an ending, unless they've talked to Kirkman and they're like, yeah, he's like, this is how we have it, because he usually has a plan set in motion. He's one of those writers that kind of has a start point and an end point, and the shit in the middle is just like him getting there. Except for Walking Dead, he was he had an ending, but he's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and all of a sudden he's did it. But with Oblivion Song, you could definitely do the first story arc, and you could leave it wide open for more movies, because with a movie, you don't just unlike a TV show, you don't have it that year cycle. Every year you need a new season. Sometimes a year off, depending on if you're, Game of Thrones, or 2 years off if you're Stranger Things. With Oblivion Song, if you're making a movie out of them, you could do the first story arc, take 2-3 years off, do the second story arc, and go in there. But whatever. But you could definitely do it with one movie and satisfy what you need to have in it, for sure. And I highly recommend checking that book out if you haven't read it, because it's pretty goddamn cool. And I think, let's check the old Comixology real quick.
Go for it. I think I only read the first issue of it.
I can't spell it. Oh, that's because it's not.
If I did, that was a while ago.
Nope. I can't type. Apparently, at all, whatsoever. I can't type anything. That's embarrassing.
It's a good skill to lose when you're trying to type something.
Yeah, it's like, how does this work? I did see an article I didn't read earlier today that was talking about the big twist in Invincible, which I think is probably the fact that his dad is a bad guy. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't read or seen the show.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think they're like talking about like how he saved this series by making the twist happen early. And I was like, I guess you could say that, but also the fact that he did that because that's what sets up the rest of the story. You know, he could have drawn that out, but it's like that's not really the purpose. The story of the show or the book or the series isn't that his dad is the bad guy. It's Invincible growing into being who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Issue 1 is available on Comixology to read if you have unlimited.
And that's it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they're up to
there were more on there. At least the first trade paperback, but whatever.
Yeah, they're up to issue 33. So I mean, there's plenty to read on there. But for unlimited, it's only issue 1, and there is no collection other than. Well, I mean, there are collections. I should say that there are collections. None of them are available as part of unlimited. But you can. I mean, obviously, they're all, the first 5 volumes are all on there, so you can read them there. But it's a pretty cool story, and it's cool to see that they're branching out past just superhero stuff from comic books, because that's what everyone thinks that comic books are, which is not even close to being true. There's so much more. I mean, it goes. I mean, same thing. Like you have Sweet Tooth, obviously, is a comic book that was popular. Spacing on the name of it right now. The one with Charlie Theron that just did a Netflix movie.
Oh, yeah, and they have another run of it going too, don't they?
Yeah, another series. Yeah.
That one. Can't remember what it was.
Wow. Why can't
The Guardian? No.
Old Guard.
Old Guard. I knew it had like guard in it.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I keep thinking. I was like, "What is it? What is it?" And I'm like, all I could think of was Revival. I'm like, that's not the book. That's not the right one. Yeah, Revival would be a different book. But that's a cool one too. If someone wants to tackle something that's be pretty fucking cool to see on screen, it'd be that one. There's something else I had too, and I didn't save any goddamn news articles because I'm stupid. A lot of stuff coming out of CinemaCon this week, by the way, if you haven't seen that stuff.
CinemaCon?
Yeah, CinemaCon is where...
That's news to me.
So, CinemaCon is where studios come together. I think it's in Vegas every year. I think it's in Vegas. Anyways, where the studios come to show upcoming stuff that hasn't been seen by anybody. So, it's movies. So, for example, when Warner Brothers comes to show stuff off, they will show their slate for the next few years. And it's all stuff. Most of it's stuff we already know about. So it's like Matrix 4, or is now known as Matrix. What was the name of it? Not Resolution. Matrix Resurrection? No. It has a name. It's not just Matrix 4. It's Matrix something or other. Just like none of the Matrix movies had like a number in them. And people are. I mean, I'm not reading them because I don't want to. I mean, I'm gonna watch the trailers when they come out. But they're like, they'll say what kind of footage they saw in there, and like the fact that like there was Neo Keanu Reeves is in it. Carrie-Anne Moss was in the footage, and the article said on there. But yeah, so they come to Vegas and they show off all this slate, and like they get to see press as well as executives for things like streaming services, movie theaters, brands, including merchandise brands, will go and they watch footage so they can, get hyped and stuff and kind of plan for the future of how everything's going. Because the studio, obviously, all their plans are done in the studio because that's just how it works. But this is more for marketing purposes and things like that. So there's a lot of stuff like they showed the first footage of the Batman, not just trailer wise, but actual footage. They did like the Matrix one, which escapes me the name right now. There was one. Is it Resurrection? Resurrections. That's what it was. Which sounds dirty if you say it properly.
Improperly.
Or just properly. Resurrections, get it? Resurrections. Haha. Like erections, Joe, but like...
No, I got it.
Okay. I'm sure you did. Yeah, so they have a lot of that. Like, and they showed footage for Dune. They showed Matrix 4, the Batman. There was one other one that Warner Brothers showed that was interesting. And you can go on and you can read what they'll tell you what is in it. I'm trying to avoid that because these are just more than trailers. These are this is scenes. They'll show scenes to get you kind of into it. And it's usually scenes that lead into what the narrative of the story is. So I don't want to read any of them. But it'd be cool to go, but obviously we're not fucking super media. Plus, I think you have to pay to go, or your organization has to pay to go. As part of it, which is dumb, but also I get it. Maybe actually nope. That was it. There's just those three things, which is interesting, but also, whatever. So that was the Matrix Resurrections, the Batman, and Dune, which is where they announced the title of the Matrix 4 movies. That's where that came from, is their presentation at CinemaCon. And then there was a couple other ones too. I think Universal's was today, which they're showing off stuff from Jurassic World Dominion. What is it called? Dominion.
I don't really care.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And there's probably some other stuff in there too. Actually, I could read off the list right here. It's Universal Studios and Focus Features shared a presentation at CinemaCon in Las Vegas. I was right, it was Las Vegas. They showed off... there's no word of what was shown just yet because it's at 4:30 p.m. Oh, it's probably going on right now. But they, on the billboard outside, they had Halloween Kills, Sing 2, Dear Evan Hansen, and more. So those are pretty... Like I said, there's nothing new that we've never heard of before. It's all stuff coming out. But it's the first time people seeing footage of these outside of the studios. This does not list anything else on there, so we'll have to wait for that to be updated on there, because they have the sizzle reel shown was of all the classics. So Fast and Furious, well, I say classics, but all the major things they have. So Fast and Furious franchise, Back to the Future, Jaws, Jurassic Park, and more, as well as their slate of 25 movies, 25 films since the March 2020 and into the future. And they're having a special screening of Candyman. I think that's what that says there.
Cool.
So, yeah, that's kind of cool stuff. If you want to read some spoilery stuff, because I'm pretty sure it's probably spoilery, you can go on there and read that all over the internet.
Not going to.
Yeah.
Not going to do that.
Not going to do it. There was something else I was going to tell you, too, that I saw. Oh, have you watched the Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf yet?
Is that premiere?
It's apparently it's out on Netflix.
I didn't realize that was out already. That was wow. That's right. It is the end of August.
Yeah.
Wow, time flies. No, I haven't watched it yet. I'll probably watch it tonight and over the weekend then.
Well, it's a movie, so you can get through it pretty quickly.
Oh, I thought it was a series for some
I
reason.
did too, but apparently it's a movie. I'm trying to look at this thing and see. I'm trying to look at an article that doesn't talk about what happens in it. But I'm pretty sure someone said it's a film, which makes me think it's a movie because it's an animated, so it can't really be film. I mean, it could be, but I don't think they shot the animation on film. But everyone's saying it's pretty dope, and the fact that like it's just pretty cool that they're doing it that way. And obviously, with animation, you can do more than you could with live action for the most part. Cheaper than you would with live action, because you can do almost anything with live action. It just depends on how much money you want to spend on it.
Definitely.
So I mean, obviously, the big elephant in the room, as some would say, is the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer.
Yep.
Clearly, we spoke at it briefly before on the podcast, saying, hey, it's got to drop soon because it's supposed to be come out in Christmas time. Good news is it's coming out in Christmas time. I don't know if they have an exact date, but that's a pretty massive drop to have on around Christmas time, which, you know, obviously everyone's really anticipating what this is going to be because of the hype going around with all the rumors and blah, blah, blah. But we got our first taste of what we're going to see officially, not bullshit fan-made trailers or, you know, screen or fucking scene pictures of people on set, things like that. So what do you think of said trailer, Joseph?
Oh, absolutely. Loved it. Getting right to it is just really awesome to see Doc Ock back, Alfred Molina. I love the scene. You get the little goblin bomb first, and then you see Alfred Molina. So obviously you're getting Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin.
Yep.
Alfred Molina, Doc Ock. Everything else was really cool in it too. I wonder if they're going to somehow tie it into the Loki show somehow, just because of the whole multiverse thing.
Yeah, so
at least a hint to it. I don't know.
Speaking of that,
beyond that, it was just a really cool trailer.
So, speaking of Loki and the obviously the repercussions that show is going to have rippling through the multiverse, that is the MCU. It bothers me that people are still calling different versions of characters variants. And the reason why is that was a term created for the lie that was set up by He Who Remains. They aren't variants. They are different versions. Like, I get the word variant means like things, right? But the word variant is a dirty term in that sense, because they're not mistakes, right? They're variants of that person. Like female Loki, she wasn't called Loki. She had a name, right?
Yeah.
Because things change and her out, like she was a lady, and even though that technically Loki can be whatever he wants, but people are saying like, oh, you know, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is a variant. I'm like, no, he's just a different multiverse. I get the word variant can mean that, but the way you're using it is he doesn't exist, but he does. He exists in a different universe. They're just now colliding or meshing or interlocking or whatever it is that is happening to see them in this. So they're not something that needs to be eliminated. They're literally just another version of Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Like it's not another version of Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Like, and that's what people don't understand about the Loki show. And I keep seeing these people talking about like, oh, variant this or variant. I'm like, nope, that is a dirty term used as a slander towards these multiverse people, you know, these other versions of them, and I hate it, and it drives me insane every time I see people talking about it.
Right, because you're assuming that there's a right version.
Exactly.
Like in this universe, it would be Tom Holland's Spider-Man. That is the right version, and any other version would be a wrong version. Therefore, they're a variant version.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't like it, and I hate when people are saying that one, because I'm like, no, because this is like, that's not how this works. And people are like, well, then how do you explain Joe Jonah Jameson being J.K. Simmons? Yo, bitch, just because it's the same actor doesn't mean it's a different character. Clearly, this this J. Jonah Jameson that we saw at the end of Homecoming, or which one? Far From Home. Good God, I can't remember the fucking names. The second Spider-Man with Tom Holland in it. That was a surprise. Like, that's cool, but you got to realize there could be a different J. Jonah Jameson there was in the Andrew Garfield one, right? It wasn't played by J. Jonah Jameson or J.K. Simmons. It was played by somebody else, which at the moment is escaping me who it was, and if they even showed who it was. Did they show it? A J. Jonah Jameson?
I don't recall. Not the first movie, at least.
I'd have to look it up to see if there was. I'm pretty sure there was, or at least mention of the Daily Bugle. But also, like, in the Venom one, because, again, we don't know where Venom falls in this, and we now know, well, we don't now know, but we do know that Venom verse, the Venom movies and the Mobius movies, or Morbius movies, Mobius, that's a whole different fucking ballgame. They are part of, now connected into the MCU because the Vulture, played by Michael Keaton, shows up in Morbius trailer, and apparently there's some kind of link in the new in Let There Be Carnage that also ties to another villain besides Carnage and in the MCU as well. So there's a lot of going on there, and I got off track, and I'm sorry, but it just makes me mad when I hear people talk nonsense about it. Plus, like, you don't talk to nearly as many people as I do, because you're, antisocial, and I understand that. And I know you and I, Mike, and a little bit of Tosh, we're a different breed of fan. Like, right? We look at news, we strive on reading news, we want to, know things. So we know all the happenings. Like, we miss a thing or two, whatever, But for the most part, we're on par with what's coming out. Like, we're excited to see this. We're excited to watch this, whatever, right? We'll call them normies. Drive me fucking batshit crazy. Because I'm going to leave this person. I almost said he, but I'm not going to say that. I'm going to leave this person unnamed, but they work with me. And the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer came out Tuesday. What day did it come out?
Tuesday. I think it was leaked on Monday. It was accidentally leaked, and then Tuesday is when they were just like, fuck it, just release it.
Okay. Yeah, because I have a feeling it's supposed to debut with Shang-Chi, because it just makes sense.
That would make sense.
It comes out the 3rd of September, and boom, you have it, because that's your next tentpole movie. Anyhow, he's reading an article, and he goes, hey, that's kind of weird. He's like, that's cool. Or I think he's like, I wonder how they're going to explain having Alfred Molina's Doc Ock and Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin in this new movie. And I was like, are you
just paid attention to the trailer, they tell you.
But I was like, before that, I was like, did you not know months ago that they were rumored to be in this and, like, shown on set? Like, it's not even like, it should, at this point, it shouldn't be a shock to you, right? Then I realized, oh, you know what? They're these shut-ins that don't use the internet for anything but porn and stealing shit. So you wouldn't know.
But okay.
I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I hate you, and I hope you have a terrible life. Like, and in my brain I'm thinking this, but I realize not everyone is like pop culture this, pop culture that, like we are, and those are normies. And I was like, what? You don't know they were? I'm like, then he's like, and he's reading it, and he's like, oh yeah, and like it's rumored that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are gonna be in it. And I was like, you'd be fucking kidding me.
Rumored a long time ago. In fact, it's fact.
Yeah, I'm like
we just have to.
Oh, it was.
That'll be cool. That'll be a cool trailer. I can't wait for that. Trailer
that pop though. Oh man, when you see all three of them swinging, like through through a big old set of buildings, I'm like, I'm gonna explode two ways: my wallet and something else. And I'm like, I just can't wait for that visual. You know what I mean? Like, dude, like that trailer's probably gonna hit like mid-October. At the latest, early November, right? When they release an actual date or whatever, which I don't think they actually have yet. Never mind. I'll shut my horror mouth because it's right here in front of me. December 17th. I didn't scroll down far enough on this article that I had in front of me talking about it, but apparently it does. But like when they drop that trailer and like if it doesn't start or end with that scene, oh dude, they missed the mark. Like you can't.
It's gotta.
Oh, it has to, if you end with them like one swinging in, another one swinging in, the third one swinging in, or them catching up to them, whatever it happens to be. If you don't end your trailer that way, you aren't good at marketing and you suck at your job and you should probably be fired. And maybe jog out in the street and beat in front of your family. But
it's going to end with a flagpole scene. Like one of them is standing on top of a flagpole and the other two are just hanging off. Dude. Like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, I think, did that.
Yeah, dude, if he lands on top of it and then like the other two like swinging and grab on, oh, dude.
Yeah.
Bro. Yes, please.
Right?
Just, I will explode with glee and joy. But to answer your question, Joe, I super dug this trailer. I've recently been on this weird, I'm super easy to get hyped on certain things. And so far I haven't been let down by a lot of things, by many things really. Like Destiny's one thing is just like they released a bunch of stuff and I'm like so fucking excited about it. But like I was so hyped about this trailer and just movie in general. Like when the leaks started showing up, I was like, I'm trying to avoid everything. I'm like, what do I do? Like if someone posts this and I see any bit of this, I will hunt that person down and I will punch them in the dick. Even if they don't have one. I was like, I don't care. So like I stayed off social media because like once I started seeing like articles leaking, like this leak, I was like, don't read the article. Don't ruin this for you. Wait till the actual like trailer drops. And of course it drops in the wee hours of the morning on, I want to say Tuesday night, I guess, or Tuesday morning. And I was like, I can't wait. I'm watching this on my phone. And I watched on my phone and I was like, oh bro, I need to go home. I have the poops or something. I have to go watch this on my TV. I stayed at work, but I really wanted to go home and watch it. And I did. As soon as I got home, I didn't even get out of my work clothes. I just sat down in front of my TV. Oh my God. Look at it. So good. I was, oh my God, I was so excited. Like I was so hyped. I was in a fear. I was literally fearing the fact that they were going to let me down. Like it was going to be like super disappointing. Nah, that trailer, and the fact that it looked like a mesh between Doctor Strange and like full on like Spider-Man as we know it, with the whole like city going blue, blue, which looked cool because like wasn't that like almost like the one of the posters for Into the Spider-Verse was where like the city was like collapsing and he's like jumping into it.
Yeah, he's like falling into it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's fucking cool. Like that's a cool homage to like obviously like what came first. But the whole like hitting him out of his body with the whole astral plane thing and the train thing, I was like, how are you gonna explain this fucking train thing? Like, what the hell is this?
There's so much in that trailer that I have questions about. Even Doctor Strange's the Sanctum or the
snow.
What's it called? Anyway,
Sanctum.
Why is it snow? Why is there snow inside there?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, I was like, excuse me, sir. You seem to have a snow problem. And then like Wong is telling him not to cast that spell or whatever, and he's walking out with a bunch of luggage.
Spell, yeah.
And I was like, where the fuck is Wong going? Like he can't take the indoor winter
snow apparently.
Yeah, you know. So I was like, I want to know what's happened with him. And then like obviously you get to the end, and if you didn't have questions on what this movie was going to be about, you definitely had questions at the end of this trailer when them villains popped up, or at least villain popped up, because like people have been obviously like just dissecting the shit out of this fucking trailer, which is was announced today that it broke Avengers Endgame trailer record in 24 hours. Like some, I didn't read the number, but some ungodly number of fucking views on YouTube, which is probably you and me for half of that. Because I know I watched it like at least 17 times the first time I got home. I spent like an hour and a half watching a trailer that was a minute long.
I watched it as an ad, forgetting that I was watching something else, and almost backed out of the thing I was originally watching because I got to the end of the trailer and was just like, oh, that's cool. Back out. Oh no, wait, I was actually watching something.
Oh shit. Yeah. it's just like you get to the end and there's like people, like I said, people are dissecting this thing and like oh, you know, this could be Sandman.
We're supposed to also get Electro in it as well, so it's like, oh, that spinning cloud that you see for like a split second with lightning, that's Electro. That's Jamie Foxx's Electro.
Yep.
And then there's a total of 4 villains, right?
So, well, as of right now, we know, well, before, like, maybe a couple weeks ago, there was no rumors of Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin being in it. At first, it was going to be a villain for each of the Spider-Men, right? Like, so Alfred Molina's Doc Ock was obviously Tobey Maguire's biggest and most popular villain, because Spider-Man 2 was the best of those 3 movies. Electro was probably the most dynamic of all the villains that Andrew Garfield went against. But now there's rumors, now that we essentially get confirmed that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is in it. You see the pumpkin bomb, you hear his laugh. If that's not saying, hey, he's in it, then clearly that they're dickbags and they're fucking with us real bad. We don't know if Tom Holland has a villain in this other than J. Jonah Jameson being a dick and, you know, telling who he is and saying that he killed Mysterio or Quentin Beck. But then now there's rumors that Thomas Hayden Church's Sandman is supposed to be a villain.
Cool.
And then Reese, I think it's Ifan's character, who was the Lizard and Andrew Garfield's run, is supposed to be in it as well, because he was the villain. He was used poorly as a villain, but he was the villain in the first Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. He was a great. When I say villain, because he was very tragic in that movie, but he was obviously the Lizard in it. So there's rumors that those 2 are going to be in it as well, because they want to have like a Sinister Six moment where like the 3 Spider-Men have to fight against 6 villains that have come together. And then now there's rumors ramping up that Kraven the Hunter is going to be in it, because they announced Aaron Taylor Johnson is playing him, right? Is that who it was? I can't remember, but I don't think that's been confirmed as him being in that movie. But there's
quite a bit that hasn't been confirmed in the movie too. Just like those couple of villains that you mentioned, but also the whole Charlie Cox thing possibly being one of the lawyers that you see in the interrogation scene with Tom Holland's Peter Parker. That'd be interesting and really cool for them to bring him over, because then that's just a way to bring over the rest of the Netflix MCU characters, which I was surprised that they if they do it, that they're able to bring them over so early, because I thought Netflix had those characters wrapped up for another like 10 years or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
But it'd be definitely cool to bring them over.
Yeah, for show, dog, for show. Because we were talking about this yesterday. There's rumors that Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin is going to be the main focus villain in the Hawkeye show. It hasn't been confirmed. We'll know more because Hawkeye hits Disney Plus in November. Oh, I guess it'll be perfect timing. Holy shit! Yeah, damn, they're smart. Because November 20, I'm trying to look up. 24th is the premiere of Hawkeye on the Disney Plus network, and he's rumored to be in it as either, I would say, not the main villain, but like a villainous character. Because Joe, have you seen Black Widow?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Spoiler alert, which is not really a spoiler, but like it kind of is. The stinger scene, the stinger scene. Well, she does technically, which is, I have a gripe about that movie. I enjoyed that movie a lot. I thought it was really fun. I thought they did a really good job with it. Timing wise, I think it was a terrible timing. But there's one issue that has to relate to that movie that has timing in it, is the fact they don't tell you when things are taking place, and I'll get to that right now. So the Stinger scene.
Nothing in a universe, and she's going to be pulled over from a multiverse, and then she comes back.
So that's the thing, right? Like, no, she is done being Black Widow in the MCU for right now.
Obviously, Scarlett Johansson's done.
Yeah. The thing. So what happens in the Stinger scene, which is during the credits, is Florence Poe's character Yelena Belova. I can't remember her name. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Belova is essentially being set up as a new Black Widow, passing the mantle. So the scene at the end is a setup to a setup that's supposed to give you sort of closure on things, and it has to do with where Natasha's birth mother is buried, and it's supposed to be somewhere near this big tree with these flowers, and essentially that's what happens. So at the end of the movie, you see Florence Poe's character driving to through a wooded area, and the camera pans down this big tree with flowers around it, and there's a headstone for Natasha, and she's visiting it, and she's putting flowers. Earlier in the movie, they set up a thing where she was going to fake her own death to get away from everybody, and she was going to have a marker set up at the place where she would want it to be there, which happens to be where her birth mother was buried, right? So when you get to the end of the movie and that Stinger scene comes up, you're led to believe that, oh, she's still alive, but because they don't give you a time frame, this is after the snap, after the re-snap, I should say. So this is after the events, because the bulk of the movie takes place shortly after Civil War, and she's on the run, and they explain that in the movie greatly. They tell you like everything, right? Because like it opens up with her being hunted down by Thunderbolt Ross, all that fun stuff, right? Jump ahead a little bit, and it's the bulk of the movie. Then you get to the Stinger scene, and it doesn't tell you how many years later or when this is happening. Until, if you're paying attention, you know what's happening, until a certain character that showed up in Falcon Winter Soldier, or Captain America Winter Soldier, however you want to say it, shows up, and it's Elaine from Seinfeld's character, and she walks over to Yelena and says, hey, would you like to know who truly killed your sister? And she shows a picture on an iPad of Clint Barton, setting up the fact that Yelena is going to be in the Hawkeye show trying to exact revenge, because again, only few people really know what happened. And
what happened
exactly. So you can make up what narrative you are, and obviously Elaine's character is a scumbag who is essentially building the Thunderbolts, as some would refer to them, or the anti-Avengers, the Dark Avengers, whatever you want to call them. So John Walker's Captain America, or U.S. Agent, or whatever fucking name you want to give him, is obviously going to be part of it. Yeah, it should be U.S. Agent, because Captain America is a title being used currently by another person. And Yelena is basically being recruited, because I should have said in that scene, she says to her, I'm going to tell you again, I don't want to work for you. And she's like, well, let me ask you one thing. Do you want to do you want to know who is behind the death of Natasha? And she shows a picture of Barton, which leads you to know that she's probably going to be featured in the Hawkeye show. So I think that's going to be the head, like the adversary, until obviously Clint Barton either gets killed by her and the truth comes out, or, which I don't think is going to happen because they do that's fucking shitty, he proves the fact that, you know, she's not the one that led to her death, and then they have to team up against maybe Kingpin and his men? I don't know. But whatever. Maybe. But I thought that was a pretty cool thing, and I was like, oh shit, that means Black Widow, the new Black Widow, is going to be in the Hawkeye show. That's fucking cool. But anyhow, so that's it. That's all I had to say. The Spider-Man No Way Home trailer was dope.
Was dope. Did you end up watching the rest of What If?
No,
Are you caught up?
I got home yesterday and passed the fuck out.
But you watched the Guardians of the Galaxy one last
Yeah,
week.
yeah, yeah. I watched the guy. So I haven't watched whatever the new one is, which I don't even know what it's about. Is it Marvel Zombies? Is that this week's?
No,
Okay.
no.
I know because I saw a picture of someone showing.
What was your opinion of last week's episode?
So last week's episode was dope as shit. And I know we talked about this when we talked about the first one. Is I kind of want to see a whole movie of that. But like, what I don't. So this was my only problem with that episode. It was goddamn too good, in my opinion. And they had so much that essentially gets left out and just thrown in, like the fact that, again, spoilers, if you haven't watched it yet, this is going to spoil it. Thanos is part of Star-Lord's crew.
Mm-hmm.
The weird part about it is they never call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy in it. They stay clear of that name. You don't have Rocket, you don't have Groot, you do have Drax, but you don't have Drax. Does that make sense? Like he's a bartender on a planet.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. The thing that I thought was the coolest was the whole heist aspect of it. Like when they go into the collector's thing, which was when you first see him, I was like, yo, why does this dude look so jacked? Like, why does he look yoked to the gills? And then you find out why. Because he filled the vacuum of power that Thanos left behind when he stopped being Thanos. And he augmented his body quite a bit. And I was like, oh, dang, that's cool. That's pretty dope. Because, like, the dude's kind of a scumbag in general, but now he's, like, a scumbag with, like, powers and, like, power.
Right.
I was like, that's pretty dope. But the thing I liked most about it, and I skipped over what I was going to say, is I liked how T'Challa's Star-Lord was, like, the best person ever. You know what I mean? Like, he gave some of the universe's scummiest people the chance to redeem themselves or continue redeeming themselves, but he always strived to be the best, and you got it with that first fight with the dude that was at the same setup from the first Guardians movie where he's going to steal nobody knew at the time, an Infinity Stone, and he gets in a fight with him, and he essentially recruits that guy, like he knocks him out, takes him with him, and like converts him to a good guy.
That dude was a huge fan. Instead of originally what happened, which is the whole, the famous outlaw Star-Lord and the Who, thing from the movie, you get, oh shit, you're Star-Lord. I love you. Can I fight? Like, would it be awesome if I just like took a picture with you real quick? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was just really cool how they did that. Like they just like instead of being this like notorious outlaw or in his head a notorious outlaw, he is like the galaxy's hero. And I was like, dude, that's so cool. Like I just love that whole aspect. And again, the animation style was just so cool in this. And like the little changes he had, like he had a purple jacket on. He had the necklace, which obviously you saw when he was a kid. He had it, that sort of thing. And I was like, that's just really cool nods to it. And like to just like the differences in it. And just like when you see Thanos, you're like, fucking excuse me, what's happening? Why are you here? I thought that was just cool as shit. I thought it was amazing. What did you think?
It wasn't as good as the first one to me. Don't get me wrong. It was really good, but the one thing that kept nagging me throughout the whole entire episode is that there just felt like there was no conflict at all. It was too perfect. He was too nice. He was too much of the universe's savior, stopping everything before it happened by talking things through. Drax's whole thing, reason why he's not part of the Guardians of the Galaxy is because, well, he never went on a vengeful rage against Thanos because T'Challa saved his planet and stopped Thanos from conquering the rest of the universe. And it felt lacking to me because you don't get Rocket, you don't get Groot, you don't get Gamora. You got Nebula, which was cool, but why was Gamora left out of it? What happened there? That did Thanos just never make it to that planet? Therefore, she never happened. I don't know. So it was really good, and it was a really good send off for Chadwick Boseman as one of his last works that he's done before he unfortunately passed away. But yeah, man, it just felt like everything was too good, too perfect, no real conflict. The heist was cool, yeah, but inconsequential, honestly, in the long run. Whereas with the first one, I wanted to see more of that world and wanted to experience what things would have been going forward. Same thing with episode 3. With the events of episode 3 were really cool, and I would want to have seen what the events would look like going forward. But episode 2 is just like, okay, that's it. It's a good one-off what if, but with hardly any conflict or anything. I just kept going, okay, well, it's all right, Yeah.
I get you. So to your point, is the rest of the internet is wondering what happened to Gamora too, because she's shown on the poster. When I say poster, internet poster, right? No one has a printed poster version, I don't think. She's shown in the what if ad, I'll say, in Thanos armor with his helicopter blade.
But that could be a different what if. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Whatever.
So obviously, they could link that to the fact that in another what if she decided to be Thanos versus whatever else on
right.
there. Yeah.
Right. What if she decided to take over? Yeah, kill Thanos and take over.
Yeah. So, because she's thought of it before, but she was too scared to do it until Peter's love brought her to it, and she was going to do it anyways. Mostly to save the galaxy or the universe, because the motherfucker was on a rampage. Yeah, I think I was all about it. Yeah, no, I dug it a lot. I do wish, and again, this is the same kind of thing in the first one, but not as much as they hit a lot of the beats from the first movie and a little bit of the second movie with the end scene. But
I will say I forgot about that. Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Was so much better used in this.
Yeah, for
than
sure.
he was in the actual original movie, and it was really fun to see him. I wish he would have stuck around a little bit longer instead of just stopping at the bar.
But it's a Howard the Duck thing.
That was an awesome cameo of his to get a little bit more Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck yeah, dude, and I don't think we're getting the Howard the Duck show. I think that was canceled at Hulu because they were supposed to be doing a Howard the Duck show at Hulu, and I think it's one of the ones that got shit canned.
That's dumb, because that would have been fun.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, Seth Green coming back to voice him was fantastic.
To voice him, yeah, was awesome.
I know there's a thing in there about it somewhere. Blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. I can't find it right now, so who cares? Oh yeah, here it goes. Yep, had been canceled. Yep, yeah, they're supposed to be. So Hulu announced a bunch of stuff they were going to do, like the MODOK show, which I haven't actually watched. But they had a bunch of stuff they were planning. But they canceled that one and the Tigra and Dazzler one as well. Was shit canned there, so that sucks. But whatever. Who knows what and why? Maybe it's for the best. I don't know. Was there anything else, Joe, that you want to talk about?
Nothing entirely important.
Yeah. Hopefully, we gonna see that Shang-Chi sometime soonish. Probably not by the time we record again, because it doesn't come out till next Friday.
Yeah.
Which is weird to think next Friday is September, but goddamn. Well, not next Friday is September. Next Friday is in September.
Yeah.
But and so forth. Cool. Well, since we never did an intro, comes naturally. We are
Joe.
I am Cody. That's it for this week's show, everybody. Tune in next time. But like always, you fuckers just came naturally.
Bye.
Bye, he says.